Welcome to the Sheepless Life podcast. We are your hosts, Yvonne de la Flor
and Severine Nassens, and we are the founders of the Sheepless Life Academy. Join us at sheeplesslife.com for a free and exclusive masterclass on sheepless living.
We created this podcast for women like you, who are ready and eager to live and lead without the herd mentality.
Women who are ready to be, not who your parents told you to be,
not who the system expects you to be,
not who the media wants you to be,
but who you can truly become.
So relax, step out of the herd for a moment,
grab something to sip on, and have a pencil at hand just in case you feel the urge to take some notes.
Let's get the show on the road.
Good afternoon, everybody, and we are ready for this 15th podcast. We are live with Yvonne in Las Vegas and myself in beautiful Cancun, Mexico. And today we're going to talk about finding humor in the pain. Yvonne, how are you doing today?
What an intense word, right? How it sounds like if it was water and oil, right? Pain
Yes.
and humor, and it sounds a little bit irreverent. Maybe it has the potential to sound irreverent to the pain, but it's going to be super healing to talk about this, I believe. And this doesn't mean at any moment or time that we are mocking. I want to make the differentiation of finding humor in the pain than mocking pain,
Absolutely.
or than dismissing pain, or than putting pain under the carpet. But it's the humor, finding the joy in the pain. It's an incredible heroic journey, but it has the potential of healing. But I think that the first thing that we got to do, Sebe, if it's okay with you,
Sure.
is start by defining what is it pain for you. Have you ever wondered how pain is defined by every person? I think that pain is a word like success. Every single person has its own definition of what success and pain is. So it will be great. I think this will open a lot of our minds if we are all open to begin to inquire, what does pain mean for me? Because sometimes we say pain, oh, how poor people are suffering, that's pain. Or breaking up with a relationship, that's pain for me. Or literally, if I stomp your foot, or if I fall, an ouch, right? A physical, that's pain. So let's find, what is that definition of pain? And how about if you share what is painful for you? And the reason I'm asking this is because I believe that as we realize that pain is a personal definition, then we can take power over it, and
Yes.
then we can choose to go find the light inside the pain.
All right. Well, to me, to answer your question, what pain means to me, there's different levels of pain, right? We have physical pain, emotional pain. Especially the physical pain is really easy to define. I think that's when your discomfort, physically, your discomfort becomes pain. There's levels of being uncomfortable. Emotionally, for example, is when I step out of my comfort zone and I'm very uncomfortable. It does not necessarily mean that I am in pain. But when you talk about a broken heart, or a discussion, or a feud with a loved one, that can generate pain because the differences are so big between two people that it can generate what we call heartbreak, and that is an emotional pain. It's very difficult to define when the discomfort ends and the pain starts, because we all have different levels of resilience. And I think
Right.
as we grow older, our resilience becomes bigger. As we learn more about who we are and how we work as human beings, how we function, the resilience becomes bigger. So there's less and less pain as we grow, as we start to identify exactly what's going on. I think that's where the pain becomes less and less. But to me, pain is where discomfort becomes so big that it actually hurts. It physically hurts. And emotional pain can hurt physically too.
You know what? Yes, but you see, I love what you are sharing, like emotional pain, physical pain. Then a lot of pain in humanity, the pain that we speak, the pain, it sounded like I say paint. The way we paint pain in humanity is mostly linked to emotions, right? It's mostly linked. Obviously, we find like you bump yourself in a table, you fall in the floor, you bump your head. That's physical pain. That's kind of like a practical thing, and it's like a factual thing that you can see. You may have a bruise, but the emotional wounds you don't see. And so we have given definition of pain very broad, but I think that just starting this conversation will have people asking the questions, what is pain for me and what can I do about it? So the first part of this podcast will be inviting those who are listening to this is, what is your own definition of pain? And the reason why I'm asking this or inviting you to do this is because what you can name, you can tame. And what you can name, you can own. And once you enter into ownership, for example, Sebe, you know that it's emotionally draining or emotionally painful, for example, when someone betrays your trust, maybe. Or for me, for example, when there's like the famous breakup, right? Which for me, I will give I will give the part of the joy, because this podcast is about finding the joy in the pain, about a breakup. But it's always kind of, we can, maybe it's a generalization, but it's most of the definition of pain in humanity is linked to emotions, right?
Yes. And I also think, if you allow me, I also think that pain is like a red flag. Pain helps us notice things that are going wrong. For example, physical pain will show us that, hey, I bumped my foot and I broke a toe. That is something I need to pay attention to medically so that my foot can heal.
So you can take action, right?
Exactly. So you can do something about it. I think that it's like the pain is our body's way or our mind's way to say, hey, pay attention to this. This is important, that you need to pay attention to it and do something about it to make it heal, make it go away, make it better.
Or just simply make your toe work.
Make it function again.
I love what you're saying right now. I love that we are having a discussion around pain, because pain is a word that most of us want to avoid.
Yes.
Not only the word, but also the emotions, also the experience. And it is part of the human journey. I love that you said that the pain is letting you know something. There's an incredible, I love Rumi. That's a Sufi poet, I believe one of the greatest spiritual scholars that we have had, and a leader of Sufism. But he had this quote: "The pains you feel are messengers. Listen to them." The pains you feel are messengers. Listen to them. So for me, so number one, that. So now we're going to move. The first part of this podcast is let's define pain. Let's move into a second part where we can, if we consider pain as a messenger, and if we listen to this pain, I mean, Rumi is coming just through right now through me. Rumi has another quote that says, "Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure."
Nice.
Just feel that for a moment.
I like that.
So, for example, you break your toe. You go to a doctor. That pain, eventually, if you do what your doctor says, it will be cured.
Yes.
You would have learned the lesson of, if I'm going to play soccer ball, I better use the, soccer, I better use the tennis shoes made for this and not playing barefoot. You would have learned a lesson. And so when we enter into the message that pain has for us, we can find the humor in the situation. Yes. And so how do you find humor in the situation? Have you ever had like a very challenging situation and you share it with someone, right? That's kind of the first stage. You just share it with a friend or with a journal. I think that with friends is far much better than a journal, because friends can give you feedback or reflect you or challenge you or ignore you, whatever it is. There's going to be kind of a feedback that is going to move you from the story of the pain to becoming a researcher of your pain.
Yes.
Instead of being the how will I say it, like the actor on the movie of the pain, you then can become the director, the researcher, the historian, and like the detective of what does this pain wants me to know right now. So how do you, what messages, Sebe? I'll tell you some of mine. You tell me some of yours. It's kind of confession, guys. This is the Shipless Life is the confession. I don't know if you were raised in any religion, but I remember in my, when I was growing my childhood, I was in the Catholic Church. I was.
Me too.
Please highlight was. And I remember going to confess even for, I miss a homework. Okay, go and pray 3 things. I'm released from my pain, but this is kind of a confession. So, what type of messages have pain gifted you? This is the let's focus the podcast on right now on this point number 2. If pain is a messenger, what messages has it given to you?
Oof, where do we start and where can we, how many hours do we have? Many lessons. Many lessons have come through pain in my life and in this life experience. Thinking about physical pain to start with is a reminder that we have to honor this temple, our body. We have to honor it and take care of it. Do exercise, eat well, sleep enough, have a lot of water to drink, and so on and so on. And I've been through some physical issues, health issues in the past where I was reminded of that. And in the end, if you don't listen to the message, the pain becomes worse until you actually turn around and listen. You go, okay, I got it. All right. And then you go and do stuff about it.
I love what you just said. If you don't listen to the message that pain gives to you, you said the pain becomes worse.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the voice of pain becomes louder.
Yes.
Right? It's louder and louder until are you going to get it? Are you going to learn it? Are you going to move through it? I love what Winston Churchill says, that he says, if you're going through hell, which we could equate like sometimes to pain, he says, keep going.
Yes.
Just keep going through it. Don't try to avoid it or evade it or hide it or say that you are fine when you are not. Saying I'm fine when there's incredible pain is not only delusion, but it's a disservice to the soul.
Mm-hmm.
But now, so we define pain. No, we agreed right now that pain is an individual, it has an individual meaning, personal meaning, that I want to really invite people to challenge their own thinking, the status quo of pain. What does pain means to you? Instead of anyone else in the world or a dictionary telling you this is painful, what is painful for you? Investigate, become a researcher of it. Number 2, if pain was a messenger, what are the messages it has given to you? For me, for example, pain has gifted me the voice of practice discernment. Follow your intuition. Mm-hmm. Stay tuned with your intuition. Say no, say yes. It's been one of the greatest teachers of my life. And it also has invited me to own me, like the pain. If it was a voice, when I own my pain, I get the right to my joy.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I investigate my pain, and I'm going to move now to the part of humor, the third part of this podcast, and then we'll do an exercise, an invitation for people that are listening to us to go and really practice to finding the joy in the pain, to finding the humor in the pain. For me, it has moved me to what I own when I say, I am feeling like this, or, oh, what is this pain trying to teach me? And I find an answer that suits my soul. Then I can find humor on it. And the ways I can find humor is like I share with you, Sebe, I may exaggerate, there I go again. One of the humors I make personally through the pain lessons that I've received is, for example, divorce. I came to Vegas, and I've said, I keep sharing it on live streams and with anyone I meet when we talk about these wars, right? I'm in Vegas. I moved to Vegas from Cancun, and a lot of people say, I'm going to Vegas to get married. You know, you can marry in Vegas very easily. It's very well known
Yes.
almost around the world. I came to Vegas to divorce. It sounds I make it fun for me. It was not a fun experience. But the moment I say, yeah, people come to marry to Vegas, others of us come here to divorce, you know, what happens in Vegas does not stay in Vegas, by the way. You know, it goes around social media. But see how I'm doing humor right
Yes.
now? I am doing humor because if I can't find the lesson and the joy inside the pain, I missed the messenger, I miss the teacher, and I am signing a contract without reading the little letters, a contract that I'm writing, a contract that I'm signing with pain of I will avoid you, I won't learn from you, and I will repeat you until I get it.
Yes.
So I rather choose to move to joy. And you and I laugh a lot. Like we share like, oh my gosh,
Absolutely.
Severin, I'm going through these, like all of these things, that all of these payments, all of these taxes. Well, you know, another form of being millionaire. You know, I don't know. You can make fun without being disrespectful to your pain, without being disrespectful to others' pain. I want to just to be mindful here that
Yes.
finding the joy and the humor in the pain is not about finding the joy and the humor in others' pain. This is a personal journey. This is a journey of transformation of the self. Yes, Sebe.
I also think that if we can laugh with ourselves about our own problems and laugh about it, you lighten the suffering. Because if you keep on focusing on the negative part of the pain and not on the lessons learned or on the actions to take, if you take it too serious, you become really, really miserable. And I think having a good sense of humor about it helps you move through and take the actions necessary. It helps me, at least, to power up and fuel up on the laughter, because I think laughter is healing. Laughter is one of the ways where we will integrate whatever is happening to us. So I think laughter is very important. To me, laughter is very important. I love to laugh. And I love to joke around, and I love to make fun of myself. I don't like to make fun of other people. I do like to make fun of myself because I'm in control over me making fun of me. But I think it's making fun of my own problems, finding a piece of humor in it, lightens the situation for me and also for those around me. And it becomes more bearable. It helps me move forward.
Absolutely. Like we just went through a workshop here in Las Vegas, a boot camp, very intense. There was so much healing. There was so much like intense, deep work of broken relationships, of abuse, of a lot of us were working very vulnerable, very deep together, but there was so much laughter. We were singing there was a point in the event that one of our attendees and one of the teachers says, this looks like a musical, you know. But if we in the pain, if we can gather with others that help us uplift our spirits, if we can really be researchers of the joy, if we take the pain as a messenger of the joy that is here. I think this is a podcast of Rumi more than Yvonne and Sebe, because that Rumi is just what keeps coming through me right now. He has another quote that says, where low land is, that's where water goes. All medicine wants is pain to cure. And so when you all love wants is to heal and to love. All joy wants is to laugh and remove the pain. So the pain is the ailment, love is the medicine, joy is the medicine, humor is the medicine, and we can really laugh knowing that these two shall pass.
Yes.
And the pain, you know, is like the thorn. But the joy of the thorn is the rose. And I think all of us has this potential to find it. And I know that this podcast, this could be like more and more and more and more hours, but I think this starts a conversation. And I think the first part of this podcast, more than the joy and the humor, is to find your own definition. Take ownership of that. If for you the pain is that your mother doesn't pay attention to you, if pain for you is that your children have not visited you, if pain for you is, you see, we have our own definitions.
Yes.
Then if we write them down, I want to invite people to do this kind of assignment. Write down what pain is for you. What are the areas, emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual, that you feel pain with? And once you have them listed on a paper, what is the solution? What is the message? What is each of these areas of pain? What message is it giving to you? Because if pain is the messenger, as Rumi says, what is the message pain is giving you, and how can you bring humor and more joy to your soul? Be the medicine. If you are the owner of your own pain, you will be the doctor of your pain itself by your own joy.
Amen.
I think that's it.
It is an amazing topic, and we, as you said, we can go on and on. But I would like to invite everybody who's listening to write down your comments, and if there's a specific topic on pain, on humor, you want us to go deeper with, we'd be more than happy to record yet another podcast for you, and play with that information and dig deeper. Because this is, I mean, pain, humor, joy, they're all topics we could go for hours and hours on end. But I think we've covered 3 important points today on how to define it, how to define your own pain, what are the messages that pain gives to you, and how you can find humor within that. So we'll leave it at this. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, but Seve, just let me
Yes.
just see. I think I was channeling Rumi in a way.
Go,
But
go,
let
go.
me say goodbye before you close it with another Rumi thing. When you think about pain in the future, finding the humor. I gave you an example of my own life, that people come to married to Vegas, and I came here to divorce. Right? There is a quote of Rumi: "Just be very mindful that your pain is yours. Own it." Rumi says, "People want you to be happy. Don't keep serving them your pain." I'm going to leave you with that, because sometimes if you take ownership of your pain, that doesn't mean that you get to spread it all around the world. We want to find the joy, the message, the wisdom in our wound, so we can create a better world. We can become joy bringers, solution-oriented beings, and not pain beholders or victims of the story of our lives. So remember this: people want you to be happy. Don't keep serving them your pain. Find the joy, the humor in the wound, and the light will show up. Now you close it.
All right, thank you once again. I think Rumi has a lot of wisdom there for all of us. You can find more and more about Rumi on the internet, and also in the live streams offered by Yvonne. Rumi keeps coming up, so I'd invite everyone to read more.
This was the podcast of Rumi. See, some humor had to come through today.
Rumi came in to take over the podcast, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So if you like this podcast, go ahead and subscribe, like, and share with all your friends, and please share your comments down below. Thank you, and we will hear you next week.
Subscribe to this weekly podcast on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. Share your thoughts with us on Facebook.com/Sheepless Life Academy, and learn firsthand how to live a sheepless life with Yvonne, and receive an exclusive in-depth masterclass at sheeplesslife.com.